Good morning, everybody. I'm Charlie Fink with Ted Chilowitz and Roni Abovitz for the AIXR podcast. It's Friday, May 15th, 2026, closing in on AWE and our 6th anniversary.
Yeah, our big conference of the year will be in person doing the podcast live. And, another AWE and another evolution of what mixed reality might mean to the world. So we'll see.
It's going to be a big year for glasses. Last year there were lots of interesting things on the floor. And I think this year, even more so, Evan Spiegel's giving the keynote again.
Yes.
I'm hoping for a big drop on their specs. When they're going to be available, probably Q4 is my guess. Maybe late Q3. The price, we don't know. I mean, is it maybe over $1,000?
Well, and, this is interesting for Roni to weigh in on. Last man standing in true spatial awareness devices that are see-through. Is Evan literally the last man standing?
That we know about.
For now. But, listen, it would be so great for everybody in the industry if this succeeded.
I have to tell you that there's no doubt the teams at Apple, because I know some of them who were top leaders at Magic Leap, know everything about the different directions. So I would not doubt that it is in their roadmap. Mm-hmm. It's just going to happen slower.
Our guest today, Joshua Pantoni. He's the founder and CEO of Boosted AI. This is AI and fintech packaged up for wealth managers and I guess people with big portfolios. I have been getting spam bombed and also seeing a lot in the stock market about AI. My feeling always was that these big funds that you invest in, like the Schwab Technology Fund, which is like billions of dollars invested in tech companies, is managed with the latest AI tools, right? I mean, how could you possibly beat them? But this guy has a way of doing that. And so I'm like, all right, come on the show and tell us about it. He founded a company called Matubo, which got sold to Microsoft. And, he's been in the industry for 20 years and sounds like a guy who might be able to teach us something. So kind of a slow week.
One interesting thing, though, Cerebras IPO.
Yes.
Yesterday, 60
exploded.
billion market cap. I know the founder is a good guy, been working hard, these giant wafer scale inference chips. But what's interesting is everyone I know in the banking field and funding field in AI is like super excited. This is like, they're like happy days again. People are like, IPOs are back. And what does that mean if you're a founder? Liquidity is coming back in. People see an exit. And that means a lot more cash will be coming back to early stage as people like get their money out of, Cerebras and OpenAI and others. So this could be a crazy year for IPOs if things hold up.
Roni, for our listeners, explain what Cerebras is and what they do, because it's a hardware play. It's interesting.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting company that they make very large chips that are for inferencing. So they're extremely fast at inferencing. It's a giant chip with tons of like small subcomponent arrays. But when you there's building AI models, which is where NVIDIA's champion, where you take tons of data and there's recipes and you kind of cook it. But then when you deploy, you really try to compress things down, and on the edge of things, the deployment, it's a different kind of compute stack. So NVIDIA just bought a different company to compete with Cerebras, but Cerebras is kind of a standalone, and their view is these very large wafers for inferencing. And they started focusing on this like in 2015, where no one even knew what that word meant. People still don't, but people in the know do. And I think they recently did a $10 billion deal with OpenAI to deploy inferencing. So if you don't know inferencing, Google it. Look at Cerebras. It's a company that like broke the bubble in terms of like, good IPO. Everyone's very excited. I was at a conference in LA with them a couple of years ago, and I think the market cap was in the single-digit billions. So in 2 years, for them to have a $60 billion IPO is probably thrilling every founder, every investor, all of Silicon Valley. Everyone's really juiced up.
And the reason these chips are so physically large is because of heat signature, because they have to process and move so much data that trying to microsize them is kind of the wrong strategy. Plus, they're going to live in big server farms. So Like, just like
No,
they're not going in a laptop, right? So
I think the theory, and I'm an amateur at a distance on this. Obviously, maybe we can get the founder CEO to come on one day.
that would be great.
I've known Andrew a little bit over the years. So he tries to use an entire wafer for the chip. So no waste. How to use a whole wafer and then put as much on that wafer as possible to do the max amount of inferencing to serve like massive, AI systems. So his view is it wasn't really theoretically possible when he was trying to do it. People like, you cannot put a whole thing on one big wafer. Apparently they figured it out. And he came up with some ingenious schemes on how to do it that really work well in inferencing. And he's very, very fast. Obviously going to have competition from NVIDIA and others, but he's one of the leading players. And I think a Cerebras machine is like a couple $1,000,000, but it does a huge amount of inferencing.
Right.
So if you think about like you're an OpenAI or Anthropic cooking your giant models on NVIDIA, when you deploy them to customers, you probably have these massive arrays of Cerebras type inference systems, near different like AWS centers and things, or in their own Cerebras compute centers. So Cerebras can end up becoming an AWS. I think they're even partnering with them of inferencing AI, which is a really cool place to be.
Right.
So here's another piece worth talking about. Google has revealed that Gemini will now work on Android like Siri is supposed to, and be able to operate all of your apps using prompts. So this is the first rollout in the Pixel phone and in the Samsung phones of this kind of a system. So I thought that was pretty interesting. This is a reveal ahead of Google I/O, which is their big dev conference, which is happening next week. So we're going to learn a lot more about Android XR. And of course, we know XREAL is mixed up in that and has been publicizing their role. And then, later this summer, which is actually really soon, Samsung is finally going to show its Galaxy glasses. So pretty interesting reveals for XR coming up.
Yeah, the Gemini strategy is what we call the butter the toast strategy, is see how much of your goodness you could spread across the landscape so that everybody wants to be part of the Google infrastructure ecosystem, and it's much harder for others to compete, right? It's not about, it's a long play, right? It's not about making short-term revenue. It's about owning the sector, which of course Google has owned with search, so they know how to do this, right? So the Gemini strategy is a spread the butter on the toast strategy, which will be interesting to get Josh's opinion when we bring him on as a guest from an investment standpoint, since he's looking at that stuff.